My name is Mark Stielow. I'm the Program Engineering Manager on the Camaro Z28. So today we'll kind of walk you through some of the features on the car. We're going to start off on the front of the car. If you can kind of sneak through the grill here, you can see that we added an extra cooler here in the front of the car. So what that does is what we're doing is we're taking coolant out of the side of the block, we're running it forward, chilling it through that, then we're bringing it back and running it through the oil-to-water oil cooler here. We needed to keep our oil temperatures under control, so we upsized the cooler quite a bit from what was in a Corvette Z06. You can see the dry sump lines here come forward up to the dry sump tank here in the front of the car, and that's so as we're running the car hard on the track, we got a nice vertical column of oil to keep the oil pressure squared away, keep the engine reliable and durable, and that's another kind of a carryover system from the Corvette Z06, so it's very tested out. We just kind of refined it for the Camaro Z28, and with this package, the whole cooling system works a lot better. Some of the other things we did while we're here in the front of the car is we've got very large brake cooling ducts. The carbon ceramic brakes need quite a bit of airflow because all their heat transfer is all radiant heat, so you need to get the heat out of the wheels. So we got the nice big Brembo carbon ceramic brakes on the car. Another interesting thing that we did on the Z is, you'll see right here is a wheel position sensor. So we kept all four position sensors from the ZL1 MR system to feed into the controller for our performance traction management. So we want to know what the contact patch is doing on all four tires, and we can feed that into the PTM, performance traction management, and dial in the optimal track patch so we can get good acceleration. So much so that if the car gets airborne, like at the Nürburgring, it'll sense all four wheels are drooping, and that allows us to know, the computer to know, okay, the rear tires may be spinning, that's because the car is unloaded. So keeping these sensors in the car, integrating that system in, really works great on the car. The other thing we did on the Z28 is this is the first application of the Pirelli Trofeo R tire. So this tire comes from Italy. It's built in the same shop as the Formula One tires for Pirelli. So it's an extremely aggressive tire. It's a 60 tread wear tire. So the tire is a key part of our package here. The other interesting thing we did on the car is, here's the cooler lines for the TR6060 Tremec 6-speed. These are the cooler lines. So we have a little gerotor pump in here. We pump the transmission fluid forward. We go through a heat exchanger in the bottom of the radiator. Then we take that fluid and we pump it all the way back to the back of the car. And we go through a oil-to-oil heat exchanger in the differential. So that chilled oil comes back here, goes through the rear diff, and then that fluid is still cool enough. We go back up to the transmission, and it keeps both the trans and the differential at the peak operating temperatures. We used a Torsion style differential to get our torque bias ratio better to where we wanted than with a conventional plate style differential. In our testing on our Milford Road course, which is like in the minute 54 second type lap times, putting the Torsion in allowed us to take 7/10 of a second off our lap time. So it's another big enabler on the car to really keep it a track-focused car. To keep the LS7 making 505 horsepower, we put as big as exhaust on this as possible. We've got some stamp steel tri-Y style headers. It necks down a little bit here for emissions reasons. Then it immediately goes up to a 3-inch diameter pipe. Then the rest of the system is 2 3/4 of an inch. So we really optimize the inlet restriction on the front. We can put a nice big flowing K&N filter on the front of the car to get air going in very easily. Then on the discharge side, to keep the 505 horsepower, we need a really good flowing exhaust system. The tri-Y manifolds also enabled us to tune the exhaust a little bit and make a little bit more torque in the LS7 in the Camaro application than in the Corvette. But we have exhaust valves, so as you're cruising down the highway, this valve is closed. It keeps the exhaust, it's still fairly manly sounding, but it keeps keeps the drone out of the car. And when you go to wide open throttle, these valves open up, and this system's essentially almost a straight through system. So we really have very minimal back pressure in the car, and it works really well.